Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim, and this is the Mystery Ranch 2-day assault pack. Yes, Mystery Ranch is still around despite the doom and gloom that you might have heard of a year or two ago when the company was purchased by Yeti. If you're not familiar with Mystery Ranch, that is not a huge surprise unless you are a hunter in the military or maybe an outdoor firefighter. Mystery Ranch makes some pretty tough gear. I was very happy when Mystery Ranch reached out to me, both because they still exist and because they are still making the 2-day assault pack, which has some of Mystery Ranch's very best features. The interesting thing about the 2-day assault pack and Mystery Ranch's relationship with Yeti is that this is the first pack that Yeti kind of took the design from. The Yeti pack is called the Bozeman. It is very obviously modeled after the 2-day assault pack, which itself is modeled after another Mystery Ranch pack called the 3-day assault. Now this one is made more as a consumer model. However, as you can see, it still has a lot of that military DNA. More importantly, the 2-day assault pack has many of Mystery Ranch's best features that made their higher end military and outdoor hunting packs such a huge hit. So I'm going to start off by just going over the basic features of the pack, kind of give you a tour, and then tell you what I think about carrying the pack in general. I'm going to go ahead and unload it so that you can see the features more clearly, and then we'll jump into it. The pack is not framed out at the bottom like the Yeti version is, so even though it's not necessarily going to stand up on its own, it is a lot more comfortable from the reviews I've heard. Its 500 denier cordura is going to take a lot of abuse. You're not going to have to worry about hurting this bag. All right, starting from the top, you have a hook patch, which is good for ID or morale patches. The top of the pack, it's not really a floating lid or anything, but there is a lid, and it has 2 independent pockets. As with all the zippers on here, you've got YKK AquaGuard zippers, so this is going to be good for keeping out the rain. The top pocket is not huge. This is a really good admin kind of size, great for just wallet and keys. That's what I put in there because I can find it quick when I need it. Behind that is a larger zip and a much larger pouch. I mean, I can get both of my hands in here and pull them apart. There's a lot of storage here. And this has a mesh bottom, so you can see what is in there once you open the lid. However, you do not have access to this pocket from the inside. All of the zips have really good pull tabs as well as counter pull tabs, keeping it easy to access. On the front of the pack, you do not have any kind of front pocket, but you do have PALS webbing all the way across. On the sides, you've got 2 big pouch pockets. There's also PALS webbing up here, and note that the front compression strap will help you if you have something a bit taller than these pockets can comfortably carry. You can cinch it down with this. You've got the same thing on the other side. There is an additional zipper. I don't know whether to call this on the side or the back, but this gives you access into the main bag, into its laptop compartment, which I'll show you when we go inside. On the bottom, more PALS webbing, but behind the webbing, you have some grommeted drain holes so that if water does get into your pack, it's going to drain out the bottom. These pockets also have the same kind of grommeted drain hole, so you don't need to worry about water pooling up in the pack. Coming to the back, you've got a nice, sturdy grip handle, and you've got one of the very best harnesses on the market. This is an incredibly comfortable, thickly padded harness. It is adjustable. And if you've never seen a Mystery Ranch harness before, the way you get to it is you pull this forward. There's a little tab right here that rips out this pocket. You've got a tool that creates part of the frame for the pack. See how wobbly it is now. This slides into the back and rips open the Velcro, allowing this entire harness to slide up and down into place. So you can even do it, while you're wearing it if you have someone helping you out. When you're done, you just take the tool back out, push in the Velcro, and slide it back into the frame pocket. And now this should be set up. This is a framed pack. Behind here is a plastic panel, and you've got load lifters. You also have an adjustable sternum strap with a cord or hose retention elastic band right here. This is not technically a hydration pack. It doesn't have a hose hole anywhere going from the inside out. However, if you really want one, you can just unzip the laptop access zipper a little bit and run a hose through it. Coming down to the bottom, you've got a extra padded lumbar support pad here. You have a removable hip belt with very strong Duraflex buckles. I actually did a little low-end rappelling on this just to see how tough it was. I do not recommend doing that, but this is a solid hip belt. No padding on the hip belt. This is really just for retention and keeping it from swaying around. It's not going to do a whole lot of good carrying the weight, but for a 27-liter pack, you don't really need it. All right, so one of the things that sets Mystery Ranch apart from a lot of other brands is this interesting zipper situation. You do have a zipper going down the middle, which makes the pack kind of look like a front panel loader. I love that Mystery Ranch includes 2 compression straps here. Most of the backpacks that I have reviewed that have that front zipper, they just rely on the zipper holding to keep the contents of the pack safe. Now, it is a beefy zipper. I am really not concerned about it breaking, but it is nice that the compression straps double as a sort of support for that zipper. Gives me a lot more confidence stuffing the pack. The zipper forms a kind of Y, and you've got 2 zippers on the sides here that will open up and give you top loading access. However, the pack is actually designed to just rip zip. If you just grab the front and pull, it will open up very quickly, allowing you fast access to the top of the pack. If you decide you want full access and need to get into every little corner, the front zip allows the pack to open up pretty completely. Up top, you have the bottom of the mesh pocket. Again, there's no access to this. You get to it from the lid. In the back, you've got a elasticized, expandable laptop compartment. Not huge. Says it can fit up to like, I think, a 15 or 16-inch laptop. And then maybe a document or tablet pocket in front of it. This is not padded. This is a little bit of padding, and this is right pretty much up against your back. The rest of the interior is pretty simple, but very handy. You've got 2 mesh floating zippered pockets, and I like these because whatever's in here, even if it pushes up against the pocket, you can still get to it right from the top. On the sides, you have 2, like I think 10-inch long tube pockets, dump pockets. No zipper on this. They are right up against the front of the pack when it's zipped shut. What's great about these is that if you do have to get something out, if you go in through the top, your hand will just naturally go right to these pockets and you can pull out whatever is in there. If you use it for bottle storage, that increases the liquid carrying capacity of the pack quite a bit. You could easily get a liter bottle in each one of these, a liter or 2 in each of the side pockets. They are big enough for a Nalgene bottle. So you could easily get 4 liters in here without even using a bladder or something back here. Again, not really set up for that. There is a little loop here that I guess you could hang a bag off of. I like how pretty much everything is kind of doubled. It makes it easier to remember. You've got 2 pockets on top, 2 pockets on the side, 2 flat pockets against the back, 2 zippered mesh pockets on top and side, and 2 tubular dump pockets on the inside as well. And that's the pack. You can get a lot in here. It'll still work well as a stuffer, so it's very easy to organize. Now, for the hikers out there, you might be wondering, this looks like a very heavy pack. What is the weight? Well, it's 3 pounds. But to put it into perspective, this isn't really much heavier than the average Osprey backpack. But instead of getting a whole bunch of extra features and pockets and straps and things that you don't necessarily need, this is actually kind of a stripped down military style pack, which puts it in my mind right at the sweet spot between a full-blown military pack, which has all kinds of features that civilians really honestly do not need, and your more kind of popular style Osprey pack, which I think usually has a lot of features you don't need. As far as cost, the 2-day assault is a $250 pack. Not cheap, but also not cheap. For me, I think that this is probably going to sit in my get home bag space. This is the kind of pack that I would love to have in my car, because if an impromptu hike breaks out or the car breaks down and I need to get home, this is a good size for that. It's a good build for that. And it is something that I like to have around because I really enjoy this pack. If you're interested in more everyday carry and large day pack size backpacks, check out these videos here. If you like this video, would you mind indicating that by clicking like and subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you are into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Until next time, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching.